Hello, this is your host with the epic story. Today, we are going to look at the origins of the Aztec Empire and the legend of the Stone Box of specifically the tale of how the Mesoamerican cultures acquired gold from the gods and made their first city of gold. Aztlán is the legendary mythical birthplace of the Mexica people. It was here in this place that the Mexica established their first city before they founded Tenochtitlan, which grew to become the great Aztec capital. In the early 13th century, the nomadic Mexica were looking for a permanent home, and they were told by prophecy to keep moving until they saw an eagle eating a snake in its beak while perched on top of a cactus, holding a flower in its claws. This is where they were to build their new city. When they finally saw this vision, it was on an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco, and thus Tenochtitlan was born. But the story of Aztlán is not only about the founding of the Aztec Empire, but also the acquisition of gold, which played a key role in the empire's rise to power. According to legend, the Mesoamerican cultures acquired gold directly from the gods themselves, who gave it to them as a gift. Gold was believed to have come from the underworld, specifically the underworld realm of Mictlan. Mictlan was a dangerous and treacherous place ruled by the god Mictlantecuhtli, and only the bravest of warriors dared to venture into its depths. There are two versions of the story of how the first gold was brought into the world of the living. Both versions involve the death and resurrection of the god Quetzalcoatl. In one version, Quetzalcoatl sacrifices himself in order to bring light and warmth to the world. He is then resurrected and given the task of creating humanity. He travels to the underworld and retrieves the precious metal, which he uses to create the first humans. In another version, Quetzalcoatl is tricked by his brother Tezcatlipoca into sacrificing himself. However, he is also resurrected and returns to the world of the living with gold in tow. This association between gold and the underworld is also reflected in the art and architecture of the Mesoamerican cultures. For example, in the tomb of King Tutankhamun, there are many golden artifacts, including a golden burial mask. This suggests that gold was seen as a way to connect with the gods and the underworld. In the Aztec Empire, gold was used extensively in religious ceremonies and rituals. It was used to make statues and other religious objects, and it was also used as a form of currency. The Aztec emperor's wife, Ixtlaxuchitor, was even given the title Our Lady of the Golden House. This shows how important gold was to the Aztec Empire. However, despite its importance, gold was not hoarded by the elite or used for personal gain. Instead, it was used to build temples and other public works. For example, the Templo Mayor, the main temple in Tenochtitlan, was built with gold and other precious metals. This suggests that the Aztecs believed that gold should be used for the benefit of the community as a whole. It is possible that the Aztecs' attitude towards gold was influenced by their belief in the cyclical nature of time. They believed that the world had already been destroyed several times and would be destroyed again in the future. Because of this, they did not believe in hoarding resources for future generations, but instead used them to build temples and other structures that would benefit everyone in their current society. When the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, they were amazed by the amount of gold and other precious metals that the Aztecs had. They took much of this wealth back to Europe, and it is estimated that the Aztecs lost around 50% of their total wealth to the Spanish. This loss of wealth had a devastating impact on the Aztec Empire and ultimately contributed to its downfall. So that brings us to the story of the Stone Box of This is the tale of how the Mesoamerican cultures made their first city entirely out of gold. The story goes like this. Long ago, the earth was without form and void. There was no land, no water, no life. Then came the gods. They created the earth and filled it with water and began to form the first human. But the humans were made of clay, and the gods were not happy with their creation, so they decided to make a new race of humans, a race that would be strong and beautiful. They created the first Aztec and gave him the name Nanahuatzin. They gave him the task of creating a city of gold. Nanahuatzin traveled to the underworld and retrieved a box of gold. With the help of his 4 sons, he carried the box back to the world of the living. As they walked, the box began to glow and shine, and when it reached its destination, it burst open, releasing golden dust everywhere. The dust fell to the ground and turned into solid gold, and the first city of gold was born. From this city, Nana Watson's descendants spread out across the earth, creating many more cities of gold. One of these cities was Aztlán, the mythical birthplace of the Aztec Empire. Aztlán was said to be a magnificent city, with temples and palaces made of pure gold. Its streets were paved with gold, and its citizens wore golden ornaments and jewelry. Unfortunately, the exact location of Aztlán is unknown. It may have been located in what is now Mexico or somewhere else in Mesoamerica. Some scholars believe that Aztlán was not a real place, but a mythical one. Despite the mystery surrounding its location, the story of Aztlán and its golden city is an important part of Aztec mythology. It tells the story of how the Aztecs acquired gold and how they used it to create a magnificent city. It also tells the story of how the Aztecs were chosen by the gods to create a new race of humans. In the story, Nana Watson is chosen by the gods to create a city of gold. He is a hero, a leader, and a visionary. He travels to the underworld and retrieves a box of gold, which he then uses to create the first city of gold. He is successful because he is brave, resourceful, and determined. Nana Watson is also chosen because he is a member of the Aztec culture. The story of the Stone Box of Aztlán is a story of cultural pride. It tells the story of how the Aztecs were chosen by the gods to create a great city. It is a reminder of the Aztecs' cultural achievements and their contributions to Mesoamerican history. The story of the Stone Box of Aztlán is a story of creation. It tells the story of how the Aztecs created a new race of humans, and how they created a magnificent city. It is a reminder of the Aztecs' creativity and their ability to shape the world around them. The story of the Stone Box of Aztlán is a story of transformation. It tells the story of how the Aztecs transformed ordinary materials into something magnificent. They took gold, which is already a precious material, and turned it into a magnificent city. This is an incredible feat, and it is a reminder of the Aztecs' ingenuity and skill. The story of the Stone Box of Aztlán is a story of power. It tells the story of how the Aztecs acquired gold, and how they used it to create a magnificent city. It is a reminder of the Aztecs' wealth and their ability to acquire precious resources. Today, the story of the Stone Box of Aztlán is still told in Mexico and throughout Mesoamerica. It is a story that has been passed down for centuries, and it continues to inspire people today. The story of the Stone Box of Aztlán is a story of courage, leadership, cultural pride, creativity, transformation, and power. It is the story of the Aztecs' greatest qualities, and it is a reminder of their legacy. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and stay tuned for more epic stories. Bye.